It's going to work now. Okay, so we. So, what are the three different types of rock? Remember? Metamorphic, igneous, and sedimentary. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to open up your 4 little pieces of taffy. Okay. Now, your hands are going to get sticky. Guess what? They'll wash. Okay. When we get done, everybody will have a chance to go wash their hands. So,
is it recording right now?
It's recording what I'm doing, not what you're doing. Okay. So, everybody has a pair of scissors. Okay. I want you to take your taffy and I want you to cut it up into 5 or 6 little pieces.
Each one?
Each one. The smaller the pieces, actually, the easier it'll be for you to do what needs to be done. So they're on the ground, probably. Okay. So each one of these pieces of taffy represents what?
Rock.
A rock. We don't know what kind. It just represents a rock, right? So each of the big pieces represents a rock, and when the rock falls into a little pile that you have on your desk, what's that called? Who remembers?
Sediment.
Okay, sediment. Okay, so the sediment, it is sediment. So another name for it is disposition. Okay. And don't worry, we'll wash the tables off, so if the tables get sticky, that won't matter either. Okay, so now we have sediment. Is everybody done? You've got them in 4 or 5 pieces each. Okay, I see Fernando's kind of starting to do a little something with. So, no, what you're doing is good. You're taking 2 different pieces and you're kind of putting them together, right?
Is that what we're doing?
So once you does everybody have? We'll make sure everybody's caught up. So does everybody have their pieces cut? How you doing, Alex? About there? Okay. Okay. So you're gonna take your little pile of taffy. This is where your hands are going to get a little sticky, but it'll be all right. We'll wash right after we get done. Okay? And you're going to take them and you're going to just kind of mash them in your hand like so. Okay? Don't worry, River. Your hands will wash. You probably wash
That's not what it's
you probably wash your hands 50 times a day at work, right?
more.
Okay.
It's not that, it's the feeling of it, like smushing that.
Okay. So, huh? Yep. Just take all of them, and you're gonna smash them up into a different rock. Okay. So this rock is a sedimentary rock. Okay. We could actually call this rock. Somebody's not muted, by the way. I can hear the feedback. We could actually call this rock conglomerate.
Oh, you wouldn't be my mute.
Okay, so this rock is kind of like this rock. It's a sedimentary rock and it's conglomerate. You can see the different chunks of other rocks into this rock. Okay, so now that you've got your so now what makes a sedimentary rock into a metamorphic rock? Do you remember? Pressure is one, and what's the other one that needs for a metamorphic rock? Heat. Heat and pressure. Exactly. Good. So you're going to use the heat of your hand, and you're going to smash your metamorphic rock, twist it around, pull it a little bit, mash it and pull it. Okay. Mash, pull. Okay. And so now, as you stretch and pull your sedimentary rock, okay, you can see that your rock looks different. Okay, so it still has all of the same components of the first rock, correct? I mean, so we can see that I had, let's see, I had some purple taffy, I had some brown taffy, some pink taffy, some light blue taffy, and as they stretched and pulled, all of those elements are still there. Okay, but the rock has changed. Okay, we now have a metamorphic rock. Okay, I got to remember to keep this down by the by the camera. Okay, so does everybody have a metamorphic rock? Okay, so for a metamorphic rock to change, so what are two different ways that a metamorphic rock can change?
Isn't it more heat and pressure at time?
Okay, so there is more heat. Okay, so a metamorphic rock can erode and turn into sediment, which will turn into a sedimentary rock. Okay, so igneous, so I believe it was River said something about heat. Okay, so you guys don't get to use the heat, but we're going to take this metamorphic rock and we're going to plunge it deep into the earth. Okay, so there, it plunges deep into the earth. Then, what do we have deep in the earth?
Magma.
Okay, so there's magma, so heat. Okay, I just happen to have some heat. Just happened to. Okay, I just happen to have some heat, and so the heat. Yeah, that's why I said, that's why I have. So can everybody smell the heat from the, you can smell the metamorphic rock changing? Melting. In other words, you can smell the sugar melting. Okay, so yep, that's a good piece of metamorphic rock. And so all your metamorphic rocks are going to look different, right? I think part of the smoke is the tag on the bottom of this was, okay, so our volcano is starting to smoke and billow, changing our rock. Hopefully I'll set off the fire alarm. Okay, so deep within the earth, our, yeah, as the smoke goes over to the fire alarm over there, hopefully it's not hopefully it dissipates before it gets over there.
Go, fucker, go. Come on, let the fender burn.
Okay, and so I guess I should have thought of that.
Should have put away.
Okay, and if you look, the rock is catching fire, right? So, and it's changing again until it comes out as, okay, so it could change into something like obsidian if it cools where? In the earth, so intrusive. If it cools outside the earth, what can we get?
Magma.
No, magma's inside the earth, but you can get an igneous rock, but it can be. Okay, so you can get an igneous rock that maybe looks something like this one. Okay, that cooled. Where did this one cool? Outside, you were right,
Yeah.
Trevor. Outside, you were right.
I know, I was trying to think of how you external, right?
Extrusive.
That's
Yep.
the one.
Extrusive. So if we would have blown this, if that magma would have blown out the top of our volcano, it could have changed into cinder, which is which kind of rock besides igneous?
Was that what you just had in that bowl?
So this cinder, if it would have blown out the volcano, so it would have cooled outside the volcano, it would be igneous rock still, but it would have cooled on the outside, which is called extrusive. Good.
So, quick question.
Okay.
So you know how everything like has a certain amount of pressure it can withstand?
Okay.
And like, let's say the rock had air gap.
Okay.
And it got twisted really tight. What would happen to that rock?
Okay.
And but like it'd be with compressed air, and if it just kept compressing, wouldn't it eventually blow?
Yeah, it does. And so, if you remember, I showed you that little piece of rock. Where did it go? This one right here that I found when I was out hunting. This little piece of rock had this little air bubble in it that had other stuff in it. And even though it wasn't compressing still, it still had that air bubble. And what happened is it eventually just popped off. Okay.
What if someone just shot the rock and it broke the piece off?
A piece like off like this. So that would be one way that it could be a extrusive rock. So are there any questions about the rock cycle? So now you have your metamorphic rock. So looks like Fernando, you're not going to eat that. I don't want you to eat these because they're gross, but let me see that before you. So Fernando made a very excellent metamorphic cube. Okay. You can see all the different colors that he had, the different taffy. He had yellow, white, green, pink. Looks like there was some brown, some green. So he has a very excellent metamorphic cube. Okay.
So this isn't as common as supposed to.
No, so each one of them are going to look different depending on. So what colors did you have, Tucker?
I had brown, blue, pink. Yellow.
Okay, so your brown was your very dominant color, right? So as your rocks mash together, what's going to happen? It's the brown is going to cover up the other colors more, but are the other colors still in there? So depending on how the heat, if you look at the inside of this bowl, you can see,
Oh God.
not only can you see the cooled magma, but if you look along the one side, you can see the different colors of my metamorphic rock. There's pink and purple and green and white. So you can see the different colors of the metamorphic rock. Okay, so all of the components are still there. They're even still there after I applied a great amount of heat. Okay, are there any questions?
No.
Okay.
So the way that I've been running it on the table, it's gotten like all smooth and I can actually run my hand over it now.
Right.
What kind of rock, would that be like a sedimentary rock or metamorphic?
Well, so do you see all of your colors
Yeah.
still? Okay.
Some. Okay, yeah, there's a little bit of black stuff.
So it's still a metamorphic rock because you haven't done what to it to change it?
Applied heat.
You haven't applied more heat and pressure. If you applied more heat and pressure, it would change it more. Or if you applied extreme heat like this, it would change. Or if it went through the sedimentary process of the scissors again. Okay?
Are we allowed to keep this if we want?
Yeah, you can, and you can,
Throw it at someone and help it stick on them and blast,
yeah, probably let's not do that. Okay,
launch it out of the stripey tray.
we might be able to do that. We're gonna put those together today. Okay, are there any other questions? Okay. Do you have any questions, Liliana?
No.
Okay. So if you want, when you get back, I can give you some taffy and you can make your own metamorphic rock. Okay. 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 Yeah, I'll give everybody a piece of taffy here in a minute. Everybody good? You understand how the process works, Vanessa? Okay.